All right, let's bring in retired General Jack Keane. He's a Fox News senior strategic analyst, and it's great to have you here. Just want to put this up there for people to see in case they missed it. This is yesterday from Iranian's president. Mutual understanding is a two-way street. If the American side adheres to the agreement, we will also fulfill our commitments. Our approach to unreasonable saber-rattling and baseless threats is to rely on rationality and human dignity in decision-making and to defend decisively and fearlessly when it comes time to act. They always add many more words than they need to and basically what they're saying. How do you think things are going at the moment as these talks get back underway?
Well, you just put your finger on one of the problems we're facing. At the heart of this issue is we have people saying things that certainly seem reasonable and appealing to us, and then we have actions like we've just witnessed. June the 14th, we got a deal. And that deal had one principal agreement in it, most of it negotiations for 60 days for all the tough issues. But the one agreement was Straits of Hormuz will be opened by the Iranians. The United States will remove the naval blockade. We removed the blockade, and within days of the agreement, the Iranians begin to do what? Control the Straits of Hormuz, directing ships to go, when to depart, where to go, and how much insurance to pay. And those ships that did not abide by it, they fired on them. And that, the president wasn't about to take that, and we responded in kind as a result of it. So now we're going into another phase of negotiations. And listen, on June the 18th, 4 days after the agreement, the Supreme Leader says, number one, we will control the Straits of Hormuz. Number two, we want all sanctions removed. Number three, we want all of our frozen assets back. And number four, we want the United States military presence to depart the Middle East. Now, is he playing to his domestic audience, as people would suggest? Or does that defiance and arrogance sound similar to what we've been experiencing for 47 years? So my suggestion is we've got to roll up our sleeves and make sure who we're dealing to. The people are talking nice to us, and they've given us an expectation that this is all going to work out. And at the same time, we have hardliners and true policymakers taking a completely different approach. I think it's less about the domestic audience, as some would suggest, and it's more about who they really are.
Yeah.
Lauren Simonetti from Fox Business tracks the Strait every day. She says he had about 40 pass through yesterday, of which at least 10 took the Omani route, which would be considered the international route, that lower route, not the Iranian desired route through the islands that go along its shore there. But Iran's spokesperson for the foreign ministry said about an hour ago that Tehran is determined to maintain its right over the management of the Strait of Hormuz. What does that mean to you when you're trying to mince words for what's considered a domestic audience or an international audience?
Well, isn't that in defiance of the MOU and the agreement we just struck, for sure? Listen, the Straits of Hormuz is a seminal objective that Iran has achieved. The control over it. I think it's up there with nuclear weapons. And I say that because it gives them deterrence. The reality is they have geopolitical influence as a result of it in the region. We can shut it down anytime we have a problem with you, anytime we have a problem with the United States. That's leverage. That gives them dominance and over escalation. And that is an achievement that they have. I think at some point we're likely, given what you just heard and what their actions speak, we will find ourselves at some point having to take control of it ourselves and open it up. But we're down this path. We're certainly going to give this an opportunity to see if it works out. But we have to maintain a healthy dose of skepticism here.
So somebody who has a little bit of skepticism is Adam Smith. He's a congressman from Washington State, and he said this about optimism in the Trump administration.
The administration seems optimistic that Iran is going to agree to open up the strait and it's all going to go fine. I don't see a lot of evidence of that. So it's not sort of much that they're not telling us stuff. It's just we see what's going on. They say everything's fine. Iran's going to agree to everything we want them to agree to. And I doubt that.
Perhaps you can also be clear-eyed, hopeful, optimistic and pragmatic, and also hold the leverage that the Americans have in terms of firepower as you go into these negotiations.
Yeah, I think that's where the president is. I mean, we have our negotiators who are working the situation. They have the relationship with the Iranians. They've been at this a long time, and they have a tendency to look very favorably on that, and I can understand it. You're in the middle of it. The backstop we have is the president. He just showed us where he is, and he's not going to take them what they say. He's going to believe what they do. And that, in the final analysis, is going to be the critical thing here.
Okay, last topic here. I got about 30 seconds, and it's a big one, okay? Recruiting for the U.S. military is through the roof. It hits a 15-year high. I mean, just up 103%. It's awesome. I don't know where you're going to be on Saturday, but how are you going to feel?
Well, I feel good right now. I've been feel good for a long time being an American and being fortunate to be here all my life and also to serve my country. Listen, we don't take lightly a young American raising his hand or her hand and saying, I'm willing to protect the American people and make sacrifices to do that. That is quite a statement being made. And we welcome them. And we know for a fact, whether you spend 3 years with us or 30 years with us, you're going to benefit from this experience.
Yes.
You're going to be surrounded by people from all walks of life in America, different cultural, different ethnic, different races, different religions. You're going to have a shared experience. You're going to find out so much about yourself, and you're going to get a great start in life. You're going to grow and develop as a human being. And you're going to learn lots and lots about who you are and who you are not.
Well stated.
Yeah, clip that and send it around.
Happy birthday, Jack Keane. Happy birthday, America.
And happy birthday to my mom today as well.
Right
Jan Perino's birthday.
Go.
All right, everybody's sharing a birthday.
Happy birthday in Colorado. Jack, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, General.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.